Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Auburn Tigers 2024 high school recruiting class superlatives going down. One of my favorite episodes to do every single year, where we covered this Auburn Tigers class in 2024 for the last 12 months, breaking down the commitments as they've come in. Now we get a chance to tie a bow on this 2024 class, and I get a chance to share with you guys some of my favorite prospects that are coming into this Auburn Tigers program. We got 5 superlatives to give out. Number 1, going to the player that I think has the biggest impact for this Auburn Tigers program as a freshman in that 2024 season. Number 2, going to the player that I think will be the highest NFL draft pick. Number 3, going to the player that I think outplays their recruiting ranking. Number 4, class MVP. And then number 5, that prospect that is the high risk, high reward prospect that you might have some question marks about, but if they put it together at the next level, could be a really special player for the Auburn Tigers. Really excited to get into this one. Before we do, just want to say thank you to you guys, and a sincere thank you to the Auburn Tiger fans. We have been covering this class for the last 12 months, breaking down the commitments, the amount of support, the amount of War Eagles in the comment section. That stuff means the world to the boys. High school recruiting is one of my favorite aspects of college football. Cannot thank you guys enough for all the support. One, if you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And more importantly, would love to hear your 5 superlatives for this class of 2024 in the comments section. We'll chop it up there. And without further ado, let's get into this one. And I want to start with the player that I think has the highest year 1 impact for the Auburn Tigers. And a lot of people are going to point to Cam Coleman. And quite frankly, I'm definitely not going to get up here and argue that Cam Coleman is not going to have the highest year 1 impact. I do want to take a second to give the superlative to a guy that I've been banging the table for the last couple of weeks. And a lot of Auburn Tiger fans know how high I am on Maurice Williams coming in as that edge rusher position, a guy that I think there's 2 things that you got to look at for freshmen that are going to come in and make a year 1 impact. One is, are they physically ready to step on an SEC football field and play as an 18-year-old kid? Williams certainly is. This is a guy that at 6'2", 260 plus pounds, crazy twitch off the line of scrimmage, power in his hands. And I think what makes him so special is he has the ability to win with that burst, that bend around tackles, give them all that problems running the arc with his speed and his get off, but also a guy that has the power to just go right through offensive tackles. And when you have both of those in your game, that's what really makes a true special edge rusher. And I think Williams has both of those things. You look at an offensive tackle, how he's going to try to deal with a guy like Maurice Williams. He's going to beat you with speed. So if you want to set up outside, he is going to absolutely run right through you if you don't anchor up. And a guy that challenges offensive tackles in a lot of different ways, played running back at the high school level and was phenomenal at it. You see just the raw athleticism that he brings to the table, and that's what you're looking for at that edge rusher position. Do they have these special traits to be special? And I think Williams certainly has those. And then secondly, you look at that Auburn Tigers roster heading into 2024. I think there's a lot of opportunity for Williams to get on the field early. And so this is a guy that I think, one, kind of flies under the radar because a lot of the media hype goes to the flashy positions of Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, who, again, massive fans of those two. We're going to talk about Cam Coleman. He's definitely getting a superlative. But I feel like not enough people are talking about Maurice Williams and what he's going to be able to do year 1 for the Auburn Tigers. And Hugh Freeze, I mean, sneaky, doing a really nice job establishing that defensive line. He has a great class being built in 2025, brought in some really good guys in 2024. Maurice Williams, a guy that I think not a lot of people are talking about right now, going to be special for the Auburn Tigers, not only year 1, but for the next couple of years. Next superlative we're going to, and that is the crown jewel of this class, and that's wide receiver Cam Coleman, top 5 national prospect. Many Auburn Tiger fans, I'm sure, very familiar with Cam Coleman, highest NFL draft pick. And I don't think there's really an argument to be made. This is a guy that just has special traits, 6'3", 180 pounds. You turn on the film, the size, the speed, the body control, the overall athleticism that he has at the position is just special. And I think what excites me most about Cam Coleman, and partially why I wanted to give him that most likely to make a year 1 impact, is you look at how he fits into this Auburn Tigers wide receiver room. The biggest thing Auburn really struggled with in 2023 was pushing the ball down the field. And they didn't really have a wide receiver that could win vertically. Cam Coleman's that guy. I mean, this is a guy that at 6'3", 180 pounds, the speed that he has, the physical frame that he has, he's a guy that specializes in working down the field, attacking that deeper third. You look for a wide receiver to provide that presence, to provide that threat. I mean, Cam Coleman, I think, comes in year one and does that. A couple other things I really like, really good after the catch, and a guy that doesn't even turn 18 until August. So you talk about the physical development that might take place for Cam Coleman over the next couple months. He's already a guy that can come in year one and play. What is he going to look like after spring practice, the winter workouts, and fall camp? This is a guy that I think truly going to be special. I kind of have him penciled in as a top 15 NFL draft pick. Obviously, has to prove it on the field, but a guy that we're all extremely excited about and what he brings to this Auburn Tigers offense. Also phenomenal after the catch. Number 3, going to a player that is, I think, just going to outplay his ranking. And I'm not going to get up here and say that TJ Lindsay is going to be a first-round NFL draft pick. But coming in as a 3-star defensive lineman, you look at TJ Lindsay, what he brings. He's not the athlete that Maurice Williams is in terms of the burst, in terms of the bend, in terms of the raw athleticism Maurice Williams brings to the table. But TJ Lindsay is going to be a guy that I think you look up 4 years from now and you're talking about a 2-3 year starter, a guy that has heavy hands, can collapse pockets, but most importantly is a hammer against the run, a guy that is athletic enough in space but can hold those blocks, stand up double teams. TJ Lindsay is probably not going to be the hero according to the media, but again, a guy that I think you look up a couple of years down the road and say, that was a damn good player for the Auburn Tigers on that defensive line because of the power that he has in the hands and the violency. I don't even know if that's a word, but the violent nature of which he plays. TJ Lindsay, a guy that's just going to be damn good for the Auburn Tigers, and that's all you can really ask for, right? 3-star defensive lineman coming in, not necessarily the most sought-after prospect, but a guy that you take a look at the high school film coming from IMG Academy that senior season, a guy that's going to play a lot of football for the Auburn Tigers and definitely outplay that 3-star ranking. Number 4, going to the class MVP, and I think that's no other than Walker White. And you look at the resources that Hugh Freeze poured into land Walker White. This is Hugh Freeze's quarterback, right? He spent a lot of time recruiting him. Walker White largely kind of getting together this 2024 class. What I love most about Walker White is, one, this is a gamer, right? And you look at what you're evaluating quarterbacks. You want guys that just make plays, that have that special it factor. I think Walker White has that. You see the Josh Allen comps, and I don't think that's so crazy because you're talking about someone who's 6'3", 220-plus pounds, a guy that has the arm talent to make every single throw on the football field, which is something I think a lot of fans take for granted. There are not a lot of quarterbacks at the college football level that can make every single throw from the far hash to the boundary, attacking the deeper third. Walker White has that arm. He has got an absolute howitzer of an arm that can rip it in when he needs to, but also has some really nice touch to layer some throws in as well. And then you combine the arm talent with what he can do as an athlete, a trait that is starting to be extremely coveted at the college football and NFL level in terms of, can you extend plays? Can you give your wide receivers more time to get open, more time to make plays down the field? And if it's all not there, can you go make it happen with your feet? I think Walker White kind of blends that. Yeah, we got elite arm talent in Walker White, but we also have the athleticism to do a lot of different things with Walker White as an athlete. Walker White, you look back 4 to 5 years down the road, I think you're talking about a lot of football games that were won because of a quarterback like Walker White, especially with the talent that he's going to have at his disposal with guys like Perry Thompson and Cam Coleman. And then number 5, probably my favorite superlative to give out, a guy that, again, not a lot of people are talking about, but I'm going to be talking about him. That is Favour Edwin. This is a guy that just started. I was watching the film, doing a little reading on him, just started playing football in the spring of 2023. He hasn't even been playing football for a full 12 months, gets himself to a 3-star prospect. There was a reason programs like Alabama and Florida were going after him. You talk about high upside, developmental prospect at that offensive tackle position. You're talking about Favour Edwin, a guy that has a basketball background coming from Nigeria. You see that on the field. Phenomenal feet, phenomenal athlete. You also see that he hasn't played a lot of football on the film, right? This is a guy that is just kind of going out there banging bodies, putting bodies in the turf, not really playing with a bunch of technique, a guy that's certainly not going to play year one for the Auburn Tigers, probably not even year two. But I think you look up going into that 2026 season saying, yeah, Favour Edwin's put it together. And this is a guy that has all the elite traits at 6'6", 300 pounds with the movement skills he has. There's just not a lot of players. There's not a lot of bodies that have the athleticism that Edwin has. And so this is a guy that has all the traits in the world. If he puts it together, becomes a football player, not just a freak athlete, you're talking about an elite offensive tackle prospect that I think could emerge as one of the better offensive linemen in the country in the next couple of years, given that time to season, given that time to develop. Give me Favour Edwin as a guy that is that high risk, high reward prospect where the risk is there, right? He hasn't played much football, but the high reward, if he pans out, if he figures it out, is going to be extremely high as well. Massive fan of this class in 2024. Many of the Auburn Tiger fans know that I think this is a class that really turns this program around. And I think you're going to see some early glimpses of it in 2024, right? This is a class that you're most excited about in 2025, but there are a lot of players that are coming into this program that are going to play in that 2024 season, be contributors. Extremely excited about this class, extremely excited about what Hugh Freeze has built. Appreciate you guys rocking with the boys. Those are my 5 superlatives. Would love to hear yours in the comment section. Appreciate you guys rocking with it, and we'll talk to y'all later.